everybody, this is Heather Sides. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Spokane, Washington. I come to you live every Wednesday with 3 new projects for you. I show you how I made them, and we have a little bit of community time together and had a lot of fun. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. I'm glad you could join us, and if you are returning, thank you for coming back. As I've mentioned many times, I love this little community that we're building here. So we're going to give everybody just a minute to get logged on, and while we do that, I'm just going to pull this up on my computer monitor so that I can see all of your comments. Let's see here. There we go. Came right up. Ooh, great hair today. But this isn't about my hair. It's about stamping, right? Hey, Robin, welcome. Okay, let's see. Got that all set up. So I have another Lucy story for you guys this week. If you saw the reminder that I put out on Facebook and Instagram and all those, just reminding everybody about my weekly live, you saw a picture of Lucy sitting there holding a bag of dog food. Well, let me tell you the story behind that. I was sitting at my desk and I noticed she was out on the back porch, so I look over and she's sitting there just happy, so proud of herself, holding this bag of dog food. I have to tell you, that is not the brand of dog food that we use. So, yeah, so she stole that. And I think we figured out that she stole it from our downstairs neighbor because it was puppy food and they have a puppy. But yeah, she just stole their dog food. So, yeah, she's always been a real thief and steals stuff all the time from us, but she's never ventured out of the house to steal things before. So this is a new one. Bless her heart. So many of you will remember we're having a guest stamper tonight. My son Jackson has agreed to make one of the cards, and so I'm excited to have him do that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. He really hasn't stamped before. I mean, he's done some silly things here and there, but nothing in a structured way like this. So we're going to have some fun with that, and he's promised to do the best that he can. He keeps telling me, I promise to do it seriously and I promise to do the best I can, but it's probably not going to be very good. But you know what? It's about having fun, and that's what we're going to do tonight. So I mentioned communication or talking, seeing your comments on my big screen here. Oh, hey, we've got more people. Hey, John, Marcia, Joyce, Kathy, 2 Kathys. Let's see. Okay, I think I've got everybody who's made a comment so far. Oh, Jackson, you already got a so excited, yay, Jackson, from Robin. So anyway, he said he's going to come on. He's going to do the first card. So we're going to get some stuff out of the way first, and then he'll come on. I do want to remind you guys about a couple of specials that we have going on. I guess I'll just show you the flyer here. This one right here, our designer series paper. Oh, it's not even high enough for you to see, is it? Our designer series paper sale. Through the end of the month, all of our regular designer series paper is 15% off. And when I say regular, that's because we do have some that is called specialty. Maybe it's got like gold inlay kind of sort of in it, or that kind of stuff. That makes it a specialty paper. That is not on sale. But all of our regular designer series paper is 15% off for the month of June. So this is a great time to stock up on all those new papers that you've been wanting since our new catalog came out. The other thing I want to remind you about is our starter kit special. Make sure to put this up where you can see it. The kit is $99. Normally you get to pick out $125 worth of products of your choice in your kit. This month, so through June, you get to pick out $155 worth of stuff. Plus you get a paper pumpkin kit, plus you get free shipping on your kit, plus you get some catalogs and things like that. And then moving forward, you get a discount on any products that you buy. So if you have ever been on the fence, kind of thinking about, you know, is this for me? This is a great time to try it out. Give it a whirl. If it's not for you, it's not for you, and you go back to being a regular customer. Stampin' Up! Supports all different types of demonstrators. We've got demonstrators who have no interest in making a business of it whatsoever. They simply want to get their own products at a discount. We have demonstrators who are making lots and lots of money because they're in like the top 1% of the company, right? And they're doing great things. And then we have people like myself who are anywhere in between. So whatever your interest level is, Stampin' Up! Supports that, and I will support you as well. So if you have questions about that or you're interested, you can contact me at my email address at stamphappenings@gmail.com, or you can send me a private message here on Facebook, or you can go to my website, heathersides.stampinup.net, and see some more information about it there. You can also sign up directly online as well if you decide to do that. So that's the specials we have going on. So reminder about leaving comments. Hey Judy, welcome. Hey Mary. Little reminder about comments. So I love it when people participate in the conversation and keep things going. It's just kind of fun. And you know, even if you're kind of a wallflower and prefer to sit back and just kind of watch what's going on, at least say hello. Tell me where you're from. I love to hear where everybody is from. And what I do is a couple hours before I go live next week, I go through and I get the names of everybody who commented during the videos. And everybody who commented, your name goes into a drawing, and during next week's live, then I announce the winner from that drawing. This is not limited to people who are watching this live, like you might be right now. If you are watching a replay either on Facebook or YouTube, still be sure to leave comments, because your name will still go into the drawing for next week's prize. So everybody gets a fair shot, whether you're watching live or watching a replay. So let's go ahead and turn the camera around. We're going to announce our winner for this week's drawing, and then we're going to get going into our new cards. What do you think? Okay, hang on. Oh, you got a nice little view of my slippers right there. You can see I really dressed up today. Wednesdays I work from home, and the incentive to get super dressed up just isn't always there. Okay, so it's never there. Okay, let's see. Got this all straight now. Move my keyboard. I probably won't need that. And this week's winner is getting some paper, designer series paper. This was part of a celebration gift that we offered a few years ago. And it's this really beautiful marbled paper, and it comes in 5 colors. There's the pink, there's a yellow, there's a gray, there's a blue, and a green. And they're just all just beautiful. I've also put in about 4 or so yards of our white crinkle ribbon. This is amazing ribbon. I love it. If you have our blender pens, our Stampin' Blends, you can use them to color the ribbon any color you want. And then I also threw in some of our little epoxy dots. They're kind of fun to decorate your page with, or your card with as well. And this week's winner is Diane Bensberg. So congratulations, Diane. If you are, well, I was going to say, I don't have your mailing address. So, Diane, if you could send it to me, you can either send it to me at my email, stamphappenings@gmail.com, or you can send me a private message here on Facebook and let me know your mailing address. I can get this out in the mail to you. So, congratulations, Diane. Okay, are you guys ready? Come on, Jackson. He told me he doesn't want his face on the screen. Hey, Susan, that reminds me, Susan being here reminds me, last week I cased one of Susan's cards that she sent to me, and I accidentally gave credit to the wrong person. I said the card was made by Susan Grooms, and it was actually made by Susan Goodman. It still was an amazing card. It was the one, I don't know if you remember, where the right side kind of folded over and then there was an angle cut on it. But Susan made that. That was her card. Okay, so come on in, Jackson. This is to clean off your stamps.
Okay.
You'll rub them on there when you do that. Let me show you guys the card that Jackson's going to be making, and then I'm gonna guide him through it. But oh, now my you know I can't handle it when my phone is crooked, and oh, hang on. We got to get this all straight because you know I just can't handle it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this week's card. This is the one we're making. Let me show you what we're going to be using, what Jackson's going to be using for this card. The Playing in the Rain bundle. This is a great bundle. I've used it before. I love it. I think it's so adorable. And there are a ton of dies. Dies for things that there aren't even stamps for, like bow ties for the animals, or this is for, well, I guess this is for the flowers that you stamp, but there's a kite and the tie on the kite and an umbrella and some grass and a bridge and a stump. So there's all sorts of neat stuff in here that you can really do a lot with this set. Then I'm also using the stylish dies, or the stylish shapes dies, and I also use the stripes and splatters embossing folder. I use the splatters pattern there. So let me set these aside. This is a little garbage can for you to put your scraps in. Okay, so this is the card with the matching envelope and the inside of the card. So I'm going to set these out of the way so Jackson can copy it. Here are all your supplies. Lucy wants to stamp too, but she doesn't get to. Okay, Jackson, come on in. The glue is right over there. I'm just going to come to this side. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, can you guys hear me okay? Because I'm not standing right above the mic. I just want to make sure you guys can still hear me as I'm giving instruction and stuff. Okay. Oh, look, you're getting lots of love, Jackson.
Thank you.
Okay, so first thing you're going to do is you're going to take this strip. This strip is 2.5 inches by 6 inches, and you're going to glue it onto the flap of your envelope. So the first thing you're going to do is put glue all the way around the edge, as close to the edge as you can, and then a little in the middle. Not too much, because you don't want to get the paper all wet and warped.
Okay. I know you said to stand, but can I sit for this? Because it'll be a little easier.
If that's easier, go ahead.
So just around the edge?
Yep. And the top.
And okay.
Yeah, all 4 sides. We did a practice run earlier today so that he could see how much glue you want to put on. Hey, Nancy, welcome. Kathy says hi to you, Jackson.
Hi, Kathy. Like that?
Yep, and then a little in the middle. Okay, and I would put just a little dot there just so that that corner is not going to come up. There you go. Okay, now you're going to lay this piece on there and make it so that the top edges are the same.
Okay. So, like line it up here.
Yep.
That's okay.
Now the glue will be, while it's still wet, you have a little bit of wiggle room, which means you'll be able to slide the paper around a little bit if you need to. You can see, and that's where the sliding comes in handy. Okay, now you're perfect, pushing it down. Now open it up and push it down like that from the inside. That just makes sure you, yep, that makes sure you're getting all the corners, and there you go, good job. Now you're gonna take the scissors, and I know you said you were a little apprehensive about this part.
This is the part that's gonna be bad.
The easiest thing is to do it from this side so you can see what you're cutting against, and just trim around the envelope flap. There you go, just like that. Now while he's doing that, I'll tell you guys, some of you guys, oh, Marcia says hello, Jackson.
Hi, Marcia.
And Nancy said hello to both of us.
Hi, Nancy.
So a few weeks ago, I told a story about John. He lives down the road from my parents. He and I went to school together. Didn't hang with the same crowd or anything, but we know each other and we're friendly. And one day I was trying to talk Jackson into going out to my parents' house with me. And so just being silly, yes, Robin, he is a lefty. He is my mini-me who is...
It's unfortunate.
Well, I was going to say my mini-me who's actually bigger than me. But anyway, so John, trying to convince Jackson to come with me, I said, but I'm going to go by John's house. Now, he had no idea who John was. That meant nothing to him. And that was just kind of the joke of it. That's what was so silly, is I made it sound like John had this celebrity status when he's just a normal guy that Jackson has no clue who he is. So, oh, good job, Jackson. Go ahead and set your envelope aside so that it's just out of the way. You did. See, didn't he do a great job, you guys?
I did so good. These are my live streams now. Every Wednesday.
He's taken over. Okay, I'll finish the John story in a minute. Okay, Jackson, the card, this piece here is your card base. This is a half of a sheet of cardstock cut lengthwise. So it's 4¼ inches wide by 11 inches long, and I have scored it in the middle at 5½ inches. So go ahead and fold it at the score line. Okay, now you're going to take this. Have you seen me use this before?
Yeah, but I haven't paid enough attention.
Oh, okay, you're gonna take this and you're gonna scrape it along this edge.
Just like the middle of it?
Wherever. It helps to give you a nice sharp crease on that edge of your card. So that's it. And that tool is called a bone folder. So now go ahead and set the card base aside for the moment. We're going to do the inside of the card now. So this piece is just a little bit smaller than 1/4 of a sheet. It is 4 inches wide by 5¼ inches tall. And you're going to take these 2 strips. You're going to glue the designer series paper. By the way, we're using the Bright and Beautiful designer series paper today. You're going to take your glue again. You know what? I'll put it out here so you can reach it. Okay. What you want to do is take make a line of glue all the way down that green piece. That's Moss Meadow. It's about 1/2 inch wide. So go ahead and make a strip of glue right down the middle of that.
So on here, or would it be easier to do it here?
For now, do it on the green piece. That's a good question, though. What you're going to do is you're going to put those 2 pieces together first, and then you're going to glue them onto the card.
Got it.
That way, what you want to do is you want to glue onto the card as the last step. So if you make a mistake somewhere along the way,
you don't have to trash the whole thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Kathy says you're doing a great job and reminds you not to use too much glue.
Yeah, that's why we practiced it earlier.
And now you're going to line that up. Remember, your glue will be wet, which gives you time to sort of wiggle it around to center it if you need to.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh,
That's the magic of liquid glue. Okay. Looks great. Now go ahead and do a strip of glue on the piece of white, like you were suggesting earlier.
Okay. Just on the edge?
Yep. I do it maybe like 1/4 of an inch from the edge.
Like that?
Yeah. And then you're going to go ahead and just stick that strip down onto the white. It's going to come off of both edges.
Oh, got it. Okay.
It's going to come off of both edges because I prefer to start with it a little too long and trim it down rather than find that it's just not quite long enough.
Okay. So don't go right on the edge.
Nope, you can if you want, or you can leave a little bit of a white edge. That's what I like to do, but it's your card. Okay, so the John story. Anyway, so it became this big joke with John that, I'm going by John's house, and we pretended like this was this big exciting thing, and there was a John sighting today. He was out mowing his lawn. I mean, it really elevated him to celebrity status in our household and became kind of the joke. Okay, now Jackson, you're going to trim the edges so that it no longer comes off the edge of the white.
Press down enough. Okay.
Well, then, just being silly, because Jackson and I get really silly with one another, one day he decided that John is his real dad. And so that too became part of the joke. This man he's never met before, had no idea, that we were, had this big thing going on about him. And we weren't mean about it or anything like that. We weren't making fun of him. We were just joking, about John and being his real dad and all that. So a few weeks ago, I drove by and I saw that he was outside his house. So I decided to stop, tell him the story, and get a picture with him so that I could send it to Jackson, who I've shown Jackson pictures of him on Facebook, so he knows what he looks like. Okay, go ahead and get your card back because you're going to glue this now to the inside of your card.
Okay.
And now you're going to use the snail adhesive, and I kind of forgot to show you how to use this.
I'm an expert.
You're an expert.
I'll get it figured out.
Okay, so go ahead and glue down this piece now, and you just put the glue on the back of the white one.
Okay.
I thought you were an expert.
Well, I am, but I want to make sure you know how to do it. So can you tell me what to do?
Have you ever used the whiteout?
Yeah.
It's exactly like that.
Do I do like around the edges?
I usually do like a piece here, piece here, piece here, piece here.
Okay.
It's a very strong, it's a nice strong adhesive, so you don't have to use a ton of it. There you go. Okay, so anyway, so John let me take this picture, sent it to Jackson. We had a great laugh out of it. Well, then John and I, we were talking, and he jokingly said, well, I better get a Father's Day card this year. And so Jackson is going to use this card as a Father's Day card for John that I'll drop off when I go to my parents' house on Sunday this week. Okay, Teresa says welcome, and thanks you for being a good sport. Okay, so now go ahead and put that on there, and all you got to do is center it. And as
I don't have as much wiggle room as I do.
No, because this one settles a little quicker. Now, if you make a mistake, it can still be pulled up. Not all is lost, but. And as I tell people, you just want to get it centered-ish. We don't aim for perfection here.
I think this was perfection.
It is, but we don't aim for perfection.
Well, I only do perfect things.
Oh, okay. I should know that.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and put your card out of the way for now.
Okay.
So now you have this strip. It's 3.5 inches wide by 5.5. I think I went all the way. Yeah, 5.5 inches. And we'll pull it. We want to pull that up close to the camera so they can see the detail in it. You can kind of see it anyway, but see that pattern? That is, I used the stripes and splatters embossing folder to do that. Okay, now Jackson, what you're going to do is you're going to take this strip and you're going to glue it. I'll flip this over so you can, so you can see the front of the card that you're working with. And you're going to glue it so that it's sticking out about 1/4 of an inch or so from the right side of that.
Okay, so I guess.
Either way.
Okay. So then this is glue, not the.
Correct. Again, so that you have the wiggle room to make sure it's straight or whatever.
Is it better to do the glue on this or on this?
For me, it's easier if I put it on this, and I do it right up to the edge. Did you guys hear the herd of elephants that just ran by? Hey, Elaine, welcome. Kathy says she loves your attitude. You only do perfection.
Thank you, Kathy. You're right.
Okay, so now go ahead and lay that on there. And then if you flip it over after you lay it down, you'll be able to see if you need to straighten it up or whatever. And you just need it to stick out about 1/4 of an inch or so.
Is it too much?
It's up to you. It's your card. Do you want a little more, a little less?
Just a little bit. I think that's it.
Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a strip of mellow moss. Colleen says you're doing great.
Thanks, Colleen.
You're going to do the same thing on the other side with that strip of mellow moss. And I think it's actually the right length. I don't think it's going to need to be trimmed, so you just want to know that as you're laying it down.
That's good to know.
Have it stick out about as much as you've got the designer series paper sticking out.
First,
if it's easier for you to trim it first, go ahead. You can do it now, or you can do it when you're done gluing this strip down. Hey Sharon, welcome. For those of you who have just joined us recently, we have a guest stamper tonight. This is my son Jackson, and we thought it would be fun for him to get on here and make a card. I designed the card, but he picked what stamp set to use.
That's too much. I think that's good.
Okay. Perfect.
Should I roll up my sleeves so people can see I have a tattoo and think I'm cool?
That's totally up to you, honey. They see mine all the time.
I just want people to think I'm cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's important. Okay, now take the scissors and trim the strip.
This one?
Yep. Okay. You know, I did have a gal contact me this week and saying that She hasn't really stamped before, but she's interested in learning how. And so I encouraged her to watch my videos, of course. And if you're watching tonight, or if you're in the same boat and watching, I would really love for Jackson here to be a good example for you that he has not stamped before. And it really is, well, so far, do you think it's pretty easy?
Yeah, it's not easier than I thought it'd be.
Okay, good. Okay, now another little trick, something I like to do, is see how this edge of it is kind of sticking up, and that's from the trimmer. So I take my bone folder and I go over that edge, and it'll flatten it back out so that doesn't show. Perfect. Okay, so now you're going to take the snail adhesive again, and you're going to go ahead and glue this down onto the front of your card with the green side going all the way to the edge.
Got it. Okay. Like that? Like
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
And then I want to put it on here?
Yeah, I do, just because then I make sure it's all the way at the edges of that piece
Would
that's on top.
you still do like the corners like
Yep.
I did? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Sharon says hi.
Hi, Sharon.
Okay.
And then green to the edge.
Yep. Perfect. We'd expect nothing less of you. Oh, Sharon's dog Presley's watching.
I love Sharon's dog.
Okay, so now you're just going to go ahead and use your, you can use either glue, whichever you prefer, and glue down the circles.
I don't know why I flipped that over. It's the same on both sides.
Actually, there is a little difference. This is good to let you guys know. These dies in the stylish shapes have this little stitched edging. And if you look at the back, you can see where the stitching has poked through this direction. So it looks cleaner.
Probably easier to see on this color.
Oh, that was too close. There we go. See, it looks a little cleaner on this side than it does on this side. And you can't really see that too well on the video. But anyway, when you are using stitched dies, there is a front and a back.
Okay. Oh, I guess mine are going to overlap differently than
Not
they did
necessarily.
on your card, but that's okay.
However you want to do it, it's your card. I want to give Jackson a little bit of credit here. While he's going to do some die cutting tonight, he's also going to be doing some fussy cutting. And he looked a little bit reluctant about that when I told him. And I said, well, I can cut that part for you if you want. And he said, no, it's my card. I'm going to do it. So props to him for taking on fussy cutting. Okay, let's do a little stamping. So go ahead and move your card out of the way for now. And you're going to use the black ink. This is not the one that smells good.
Okay.
It doesn't smell bad, but it doesn't smell good like the other one does. And your turtle stamp right here, and the Oh Happy Day sentiment. So go ahead and ink up the Oh Happy Day and stamp it onto the smaller white. These are just scraps that I have, no particular size. Okay.
Wipe this off.
Yep, you scrape it on there and it cleans the ink off the stamp. He's using the Simply Chamois to clean off the stamps. If you twist the stamp, if stuff isn't coming off, twisting sometimes helps.
Yep, that worked.
Perfect. Okay, now you're going to stamp your turtle.
I still do the black.
Yep.
Okay.
Now a little trick I want to tell you. When you go to stamp, think of going down and back, straight back up. Don't rock the stamp. If you rock it, it tends to lift the stamp up a little bit in places, and then you might get a little bit of a smudged image. And all you have to do to ink up your stamp, we call it marching. You just march the stamp across the ink pad. Perfect, perfect. Do you want me to work on it while you do the rest?
Yeah.
Okay, so leave it there and I'll do that. Now we have some Stampin' Blends. And the colors we're working with today are Old Olive, light and dark. We've got a dark Lemon Lolly. We have a light Pumpkin Pie. And then we have the dark and light Pretty Peacock. Now, first thing that I would do is let's color the flower. You're going to use the Pumpkin Pie to do the center of the flower and the Lemon Lolly to do the petals. Oh, yes.
Not put my arm in that.
Yeah. I have a tendency to lay down in ink pads that get left open.
Which end?
Oh, you want to use, I use this one, the bullet tip.
For all of it?
Yeah, you just have a little more control with that end. Okay. Okay, and the Lemon Lolly for the petals.
Okay.
Okay, now what you're going to do, these pens are designed to do the shading for you, which is really nice, and that's why you have light and dark. So what you're going to do is you're going to take, let's start with his body,
okay.
And you're going to take the dark one and see how the edges are a little bit darker. Mm-hmm. Just do the edges with the dark one, where you can see I have it darker.
Yeah.
Because then when we go in with the light one, we're going to blend that in a little bit.
So just go around the edges of this?
Yep. And you're going to do that on his little arms and his feet too.
Okay.
Okay. Now you're going to color it in with the light colored one. And I have found for me, when I'm right around the edges where that dark is, where I want it to blend, if I do a circular motion, it pulls out that darker green so that you blend a little bit better.
Should I just do all of the open space with the?
Yep.
Okay. With circular motion?
Oh, you don't have to do the whole thing with circular,
Just the edges.
but when I'm trying to blend, I find the circles seem to help it blend a little bit better.
I'm going to go around the edges doing a circle, so let's do that first.
Okay.
It's an expert tip I just invented.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can use
We
it.
all appreciate it. Joyce says you're doing great.
Thank you.
By the way, Jackson just turned 24 yesterday. Lucy, no. If Jackson's out here, Lucy's used to him being out here to play with her, so I'm sure she doesn't know what to think with him being here playing with me. You got a happy birthday from Elaine. Shelly's birthday. Hey, Shelly, welcome. Shelly's son's birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Joyce says happy birthday. Kathy says happy birthday.
Thank you, guys.
Marcia says happy belated birthday. Okay, and if you do just a little bit more around those dark edges, you'll be able to see it blend the two. See how does it look like it's blending a little bit?
Yeah.
Now it won't necessarily look perfect yet, but as the ink soaks into the paper, you'll see more of a blended look. Your finished product typically looks a little different than the stage at which you've just finished coloring. Okay, great job. Now you're going to use the Pretty Peacock to do his body and to do these parts, the spots on his shell.
Okay.
Mary says happy belated birthday. Kathy says happy birthday. Sharon says happy birthday.
Thank you.
Nancy and Teresa have said happy birthday. See all the love you're getting?
I know.
Now you see why I like doing this. There's lots of love to be given.
And that's why I will be taking over on Wednesdays.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just for the love?
I'll still let you do all the work. I just want the attention.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty much how motherhood works.
Exactly.
Unless you're misbehaving, then the mother gets the attention.
I can start misbehaving.
No, thank you. Okay, go ahead and do those lines on his belly dark too.
Okay. Good call.
Okay, now you're going to do the same thing with the insides of the circles on his shell as well as his body,
Okay.
where you do the circles to kind of draw the color in to blend. Lucy, stop. Hey, stop.
Lucy's misbehaving.
Shocker. Leave it alone. Lucy? Come on inside. Come on. No. Okay, great. Now just to give it a little bit more shading, go ahead and take the dark one again and do things like go over those lines and maybe like the bottoms of each of those, like backwards L's on each of the circles on his.
Okay, let's go over the lines.
Yeah, it just gives it another layer of dark. That's another nice thing about these markers is the color will layer.
And then where on the shelf? On the shelf?
Like an L pattern, backwards L on those dots. I mean on the spots.
Just.
Yep, just gives a little bit of shade to the outside. Yes, Mary, his hands are a lot younger looking than mine as well. Marcia says she's happy that you're with us.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Great job. So now we'll put the markers away. And now we're going to do the part that you like the best, the die cutting.
Yep.
Okay, so first what you're going to do is you're going to take some Post-it tape, and we're going to tear it lengthwise. So you've got 2 pieces. And this is the die. You're going to lay it upside down over the turtle, get it all lined up. Once it's lined up, you're going to use that Post-it tape to hold it in place so it doesn't wiggle around on
both pieces.
I do, because it just keeps it from shifting if I've got it taped in 2 places. Yep.
Okay. Like that?
Yeah. And then the other end, or the other side, whatever. Perfect. Now this is our mini trimmer. You know that I've got 2. I've got the big one and the baby one.
And they're both mine.
No, they're mine. Jackson always tries to steal them because he thinks they're cool. Okay, so with this, yep, you have 2 layers here. There's, depending on what you're trying to do, this is called the sandwich, and the pieces of your sandwich depend on what you're trying to do. So go ahead and lay your turtle down right there, and this one on top, and then you kind of got to push it through a little bit to get it started. There you go. Sorry about all the wiggling. That's what happens when we die cut on my desk. Okay. Put these guys away.
Like this pop little turtle guy.
Yep. Lucy, no. Come on. Come here. In the house. Okay. So now you're going to use dimensionals. Good job. We put the dies away right away so that we don't lose them. Now what you're going to do is Stampin' Dimensionals. Do you remember I told you what these are?
Yes.
What are they? Tell everybody what the dimensionals are.
They add a little bit of pop to your design. It's like a layer thing.
Yep. It's foam adhesive that makes your stuff pop off the page. Perfect. Okay, so go ahead and put a few onto the back of your turtle.
So like 300, 400.
That's what I do. I always say if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Teresa says you're a natural.
Thank you. Didn't come off. Do one more.
Okay. Okay. Now go ahead and take the backs off of those, and you can put them in my little garbage can.
Come off pretty easy. I thought I'd have to like really get my nails in there.
No, they're pretty easy. It's just like a sticker.
This one's gonna come off. There we go. Okay.
And now you're going to place it on your card. Now remember how I mentioned when you colored him, it was going to look different as it soaked into the, look how well blended it looks now. Okay, now here's the tricky part. We call this fussy cutting. Fussy cutting is when you cut something out by hand versus having the blessing of a die cut machine or a punch or whatever. So now you're going to fussy cut around the words, "Oh, happy day."
This is going to be rough.
Believe me, everybody that is
perfect.
And everybody who's watching feels your pain. You got to cut the paper.
I thought I had it in the...
Oh.
I was looking straight on, so it looked like it was not closed, but it was.
You're doing great. I'm kind of throwing everything at him on this card, aren't I, you guys? Dimensionals of fussy cutting and
it's called fussy cutting.
the die cut machine.
It just makes sense.
Because you have to be fussy about it. See, I need somebody doing this for me. Just stands next to me and throws away my garbage as I go.
I'm not doing it.
Joyce says kudos to Jackson for fussy cutting.
Wow, thanks. Lucy will eat the paper.
Yeah, Lucy would eat it.
I think mine will be a little more boxy than.
That's okay.
the
It's your
original card.
it's your card. You get to make it the way you want it, to a certain degree.
She's holding me back from some of my big ideas.
Yes, he did have some more creative ideas that I told him if he wanted to add them to the card later, he could, but they were not necessarily appropriate for my class. Oh, I like how you're rounding all the edges.
I'm trying.
You're doing a great job.
Some of these might not be rounded. I think that's as good as it's going to get.
Okay, looks great. I'll take your garbage. And now a couple more dimensionals on the back of that.
I like what Kathy's talking about. Jackson can design the
No,
next one.
no, Kathy. No, Kathy, he cannot. I've seen what happens when he designs cards.
You get art.
That's what he calls it.
I think she's just jealous that I could design a way cooler card. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's it.
I knew it. I'm going to go a little higher on mine to fill in some of this extra space.
Okay.
Because I did my turtle a little higher.
Okay. Now the very last step is we're going to use the solid faceted gems. They have 5 different, 6, I can count, different colors. And you're going to put 3 of the mossy meadow ones on your card. Let me show you an easy way to do that because it's kind of hard when we have big adult fingers to pick those off. So if you take your pick tool and just kind of, this has been cut, so it's, but just push it along like that. There's putty on the end of this and it will help to stick to it and then you can place it where you want it. It's hard there because the piece of plastic is cut. You can use the pointy tool to. That's okay. Use.
Live here now.
I was going to say just use the pointy end to pick it up. There you go.
Actually, I think I'm just going to go for this one. It might be a little easier. Oh, okay. I'm taking this one.
It is easier when your plastic sheet doesn't move all over like that one does.
Where do I want this last? Yeah, I'll think of a copy where it is in your card.
You know what? I should have taken. Well, I was going to say I should have taken a picture while you were doing this. That would have been fun. But my phone is in use, so. Okay, so there you go, Jackson. You put it with your envelopes. Everybody can see the finished product. What did you think?
Me?
Yes, you.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not as hard as I thought it would be.
John said that sounded like a trust issue when it came to you designing the card.
Yeah,
It is.
It is a trust issue.
It is.
So this is compared to the one that she made versus the one I made. I, just looking straight at it, mine's way better.
Do this so they can see the whole card. There we go. He did such a great job. Yay, Jackson! You got a way to go. Great job.
Wow.
Thank you. You got a great card. So, anyway, well, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah,
that was really fun.
it
If
was
you
fun.
ever want to join again, you are absolutely welcome.
Maybe for Grandma's birthday.
Okay. Grandma's birthday's in August.
Because
So
she told me she's expecting me to hand make her a card.
okay. So Grandma's birthday's in August, everybody. So Jackson will be back in August. Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so we're going to set these aside. We'll get going on our other cards. That was really fun, you guys.
You guys are my audience now.
And he has stolen you from me. Okay. Are you ready for the next card? I don't know if I can beat that. He leaves a pretty high bar to raise. Okay, so this first card's going to be pretty easy. It uses the inked and tiled stamps. I really like these. There's a whole set of products. There's a bundle where you can get the stamps and a punch that comes with 2 punches. And then there's also paper, which you've seen me use a couple of times. Oops. Called Inked Botanicals. You guys have seen me use this paper. And it's all part of a suite, so you can buy them together or separately or whatever. And let me show you the card we're going to make. Got our decorated envelope, and there's our card. Very, very simple. Here's the inside. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So I've got my scrap paper here, and I just put it under the flap of the envelope so that I don't end up stamping on the rest of the envelope. I was at a loss for words there. Okay, so let me find the stamp that I want to use. I'm going to use this little flower right here, and I'm going to use the Boho Blue ink. Oops, that's Lost Lagoon. Boho Blue is right here. Thanks, Susan. Okay, so ink it up, and now I'm just kind of stamping them random. There, maybe a little bit in this corner so it doesn't look quite so naked. Okay. And that is the simplest way to decorate an envelope. Of course, doing it the way we did on the last card is pretty darn simple too. Now the base of this card is your standard card base. It's a half of a sheet, basic black, 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches. It's scored in the middle at 4 1/4. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take, I have 2 pieces of basic white here. One is slightly smaller than the other. So the bigger one goes on the inside. It is 5 1/4 by 4. And I cleaned off this stamp, which was really silly because I'm going to do just a little flower in the corner here. Just like that. I tried to keep the cards pretty simple tonight because I knew the one with Jackson was going to take just a little bit longer. That was so much fun, and I'm glad he's agreed to come back and do it again. Okay, so now a little bit of my snail adhesive. Glue this baby in before I lose it. And you think, Heather, that's a big piece of paper. How on earth would you lose that? Oh, I would. Oh, I would. Okay, so now the inside of the card is done. Now I'm going to take, I have 2 pieces here. I have Boho Blue. This is 5 1/4 by 4. And then my white piece is just slightly smaller. So it is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my my blending brush. I love these brushes. They're so soft. They're so versatile. I love them. If you don't have any yet, get some. Okay, we're going to take the boho blue ink again. Ink it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and just tap it a little bit to get some of that extra ink off so that I don't end up with splotches on my card. And I'm going to just start doing this. And I'm about 2/3 of the way over. Now, I don't know why my brush is giving me those lines like that. They don't normally. I think maybe I just need to clean my brush or something. I don't like that it does that, but, you know, life goes on. So that's all I did, is a little strip like that. Get some of the extra off on my scrap paper here. And now I'm going to take the black Memento ink again. And I'm using this flower. I love this flower. I just think it's so simple and so pretty. And I'm going to ink up the stamp, march it along my ink pad. The ink pad is very inky because I re-inked it just the other day. It's very, very inky. Okay. Now I'm going to stamp it right here where I did the blue, right about the center. There. I really like the look of doing some sort of a little bit of a background color, swatch of color like that, and then stamping black over it. It just really causes your stamped image to pop. Wow, my stamp is so inky because I re-inked it that it's gathering, and all the little ink gathers in all the little nooks and crannies of the stamp, so it takes a little bit more to get all that ink off. Okay. Now we'll put the ink away. And we're going to go ahead and glue this down onto our piece of boho blue. There we go. And I have a tiny little bit of our jute in boho blue. Remember, you can get a 5-pack with all 5 of the new in colors of the jute. I'm still kind of getting used to playing with it because it's probably twice as thick as baker's twine is. So I wouldn't say it's hard to work with, it's just different to work with. So it does take some getting used to. And I'm just trying to get my loops the size I want them. And I think maybe teeny tiny bit smaller. There we go, just like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take a glue dot, take my take your pick tool, and I'm going to stick it to the back of the knot on my bow. Sometimes when you do this, if you've got a smaller ribbon like jute or baker's twine, you want to just fold that glue dot in half. And let's see, put it right about there, I think. Look at that. And I do want to trim that down a little bit. The only thing I don't like is the curl is so far down here, it's going to stick out straight, and I love it when it curls. And we want it to be the same length. It's like this little leg just kicking out, like doing a little karate hi-ya. Okay. And now, let's, oh, you know what else we need to stamp? And I forgot, was the sentiment. Hello, friend. We're going to stamp it right here. It's not quite as dark as I would like. I was being a little careful because my ink pad's so inky, but that's okay. That's okay. We're not aiming for perfection here. Well, except for Jackson, but okay. So now let's glue, we got one more step. Let's glue this onto our card and then we'll do that final step. center-ish. Thank you, Marcia. And Susan, thank you too. Okay. Ugh. See, I don't like it when it sticks out like that. It makes me sad. Oh well. Okay, and now I'm going to take my adhesive-backed solid gems that come in 3 colors. You've got the Lemon Lolly, Boho Blue, and the, oh, we went through this last week, copper clay. I think I did it right. Yay me! Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put a few of these dots on here. Couple big ones and then maybe some small ones, or the medium size. They come in 3 sizes. I'll show you again here in a second. There, like that. These, like I said, they come in 3 sizes. You can see the bigger size and then medium and then the little tiny baby ones. Okay. Now this card is done. See how that was a really, really simple card, and I love how it looks. Let's take a peek at it with its matching envelope. There we go. Thanks, Teresa. You know, it's funny. I like black and blue, like a black and a lighter blue. I'm not wild about black and navy together, but black and blue I do like. Judy loves this stamp set, and it's on her wish list. Good, good, good. Thank you, Judy. That's very smart. Kathy says she writes the colors on the back of the embellishment packaging so she doesn't have to look up the colors. That is very smart. Okay, so now we're going to do our final card. Another one that's pretty simple to do. We're using the Cheerful Daisies bundle. A bundle, by the way, is when you can buy your stamps and dies or stamps and a punch. It's stamps and some sort of cutting tool at a 10% discount when you buy them both. So let's see here. Thanks, John. Okay, this is the card we're going to make. It's nice and simple. You made my day with our matching envelope. So let's go ahead, and this is the inside. Let's go ahead and get started here. And the designer series paper that I'm using is the, why can't I think of what it's called? I just showed it to you guys. It's the Inked Botanicals. It's this paper. Okay. So a little glue around the edge. A little bit in the middle. Again, the measurement of the designer series paper is 2.5 inches wide by 6 inches long. And now I just trim around the edge. It was so cute when I was showing Jackson that that's what he was going to do. He was like, oh, it's not going to look good. I don't know. I was like, oh yeah, just basically cut right along the edge of the envelope flap. And he did such a great job. But he'd never done it before. So of course, like any of us, when you don't know, it's a little intimidating. Anything is when you don't know, right? Okay. Maybe cut a little of that extra off there. Okay, so the envelope is done. We'll set that aside. And first, let's do our stamping. Actually, you know what? Let's do the inside of our card first. Just get that done. So we've got a strip of the Lost Lagoon and a strip of our designer series paper. I love this Lost Lagoon. It is one of my favorite colors in the core colors right now. So a little bit of glue there. There we go. And now let's see, we've got our card base, standard card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored in the middle, 4 1/4. Get out of my way, scissors. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and glue this to the inside of our card. I put my glue in my garbage can instead of my little glue holder. Oops. Nice little strip of glue. Not a lot. This glue is a really, really good adhesive. It takes a minute for it to get tacky, but then once it does, it holds so well. So you don't need a ton of it. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure this is all lined up the way I want it. It's a little bit crooked, but that's okay. That's okay. That should be my theme song, a song of some sort that just says that's okay. That's okay. All right, there we go. So the inside of our card is done now. Let's go ahead and stamp our daisy. So for this, we're going to need the Lost Lagoon. We're going to need a little bit of our crushed curry. And of course, we need some stamps. There's 2 pieces to this stamp. And, and we also need, let's see, our sentiment. Our sentiment says, "You made my day." And we need the center of our flower as well. Okay, now there's 2 pieces to the stamp. Let me get this set so you can see it a little bit better. There's this does like an outline, and you can do it by itself, or you can do, this is the filler. You can do it by itself, which I've done in previous cards with you guys, or you can do them together. And we're going to do them together. But to be honest, because I'm going to use the same color and I'm not stamping off, it really doesn't show all that much. I did it with Stampin' Off. I tried it also using black. And for this card, I just felt like the black took away from it, I guess, and the Stamping Up or Stamping Off didn't give me the vibrancy I wanted of the flower. So that's where we're at. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the outline of the flower. Stamp it right about there. Okay. Clean off the stamp. Now I'm going to take the detail, the inside part, and I'm going to stamp, get it lined up. And the nice thing is about if you do the detail first, some people prefer to do the inside first, but if you do the detail first, it's a lot easier in my mind to line it up just right. There. It looks like I had it off just a little, but that's okay. That's okay. See, there I go again. I'm saying it again. But see how you can see that the detail there of the flower? Okay. We're also going to take the crushed curry and we're going to just stamp down there like that. This is just a scrap that I had of basic white, by the way. And we're going to take our card and we're going to stamp our sentiment. Just right down here in the lower corner, about like this. There we go. Now put the ink pad away and let's do some cutting. So I do want to, I threw away the pieces of the Post-it tape that Jackson used because I forgot that I was going to need to emboss again. Okay, we're going to take the dies. And these dies are great because there are several dies that there are not stamps for, so they're just like a little extra something, like a third piece that could go on the inside of the flower for some detail. There's this big piece, there's some foliage, there's even a little banner. So there's a lot with this set, a lot of versatility. Okay, let's see if we can remember how to do this. There we go. How amazing is that? That like on the first try. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that in place like that. And then this little die right here goes around this. So I'll get it to line up where I want it. Tape it in place. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, John. Oops, these are upside down. And we're just feeding it through. Sorry again for the wiggling. Okay. Oops. And now we take our little images that we just cut out. And there's our daisy. Now when I go to put the dies back, I have to play this game all over again where I have to remember, you know, how the die lines up. Maybe no, that's not it. Is that it? There we go. Ta-da, I did it. And now we've got the little center of our flower. Put the dies away. You know, it's funny, I watch other demonstrators who, for the sake of time on their videos, they don't put their dies away. They just have like a metallic tray they put them in or whatever and do it afterwards. I couldn't do it. I'd be so focused on the fact that they were sitting there, it would probably kill me. Okay, so I'm just going to set these aside for the moment. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take few pieces here. We've got a piece of crushed curry that is, let's see, it looks like it's 3 1/8. Yeah, 3 1/8 inches wide by 5 1/2. And then this piece of Lost Lagoon is 3 by 5 1/2. We're going to put it on there like that. And then we have our piece of designer series paper that is actually 2 3/4 by 5 1/2. So you just have a tiny little margin of the crushed curry, and then a little bit bigger margin of the Lost Lagoon. I've got it just slightly too far off one end. And because I haven't really pressed it down hard yet, it's fairly easy to pull back up. And if it tears the paper a little bit like it did, not a big deal because it's going to be covered up. Okay, let's try it again. There we go, that's a little bit better. Okay, now let's go ahead and glue this down onto the crushed curry piece. And again, we're going to center it, centered-ish. Just like that. And I have a little bit of our Lost Lagoon ribbon here. We're going to wrap it around and tie a little bow. And for the moment, it does not matter where your bow ends up as far as left to right on this paper because we can wiggle it around and put it where we want it. I did not give myself a lot of extra ribbon here for this bow. That is one trick to creating a good bow is go ahead and allow yourself, give yourself permission to waste a little bit of ribbon because when you have a little bit of extra, it just is easier to tie the bow than it is when you have just enough. So I'm going to cut that because it looks like it's fraying a little bit. Ah! Well, that didn't go as well as I would have liked, but that's okay. tails are a little short compared to the size of my loops, so let's fix that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of wiggle this around until I get it all the way over here to this edge. And now we're going to take our daisy and put some dimensionals behind it. Now what I'm going to do with the daisy, with the dimensionals, is I'm just going to put them along the top and the bottom of the flower because I want to leave clear, like a track almost, for this ribbon to go through so that my daisy doesn't lay kind of in a funny way on the card. Okay, so make sure where and I think I want it to go like this. So we'll put dimensionals here, and dimensionals here and here. And if you're putting down something that's dark, like black paper or whatever, we also offer black dimensionals. The pack that you buy is an assorted pack. It comes in the mini and regular size dimensionals. So that's something to keep in mind too. Look at that. Now I do want to slip a few more dimensionals under there, but I didn't know where things would end up with that ribbon. As it is, it looks like I got a dimensional on some ribbon, but that's okay. So I'm going to take some of these little half dimensionals right here. Hey Troy, welcome. Thanks, Robin. Okay. And when I need to sneak them under a piece that's already placed on the card, I like to use my take your pick tool because it just it's narrower than my fingers and it just extends it a little bit easier than what my fingers can do. There we go. Yeah, I think do I need to put one there? Maybe I'll put that one right there. Oh, now I'm having trouble getting that back off like Jackson did earlier. Okay. Come on. Holy cow, this dimensional is a problem child. There we go. There we go. All right, now, before we put the center of our flower on, what I'm going to do is take some of my Wink of Stella, add a little bit of sparkle to our flower, and I'm just kind of doing a line in the middle. So I'm not coloring the entire petal, just, like I said, like a line. There. And it just adds a little bit of shimmer there. I think, yeah, you can see that. Now let's go ahead and put the center of our flower on. And I'm using a dimensional again. There, like that. And then we will go ahead and glue this down onto our card. Couldn't figure out where I put my card. And I'm going to kind of center it between the top of the card and my sentiment. Got a little something on my card, not sure what it is. Sometimes when that happens, it's just like a little bit of dirt or something. A really easy solution is to take a sand eraser. This is not a Stampin' Up! Product. I just got this off of Amazon for a couple of dollars. But it allows you to just get whatever that little dirt is off without grinding it in further. So there's our last card tonight. Pretty simple. So let's go ahead and clean up the mess here, and then we'll take a peek at all the cards that we made tonight. I hope you guys had a good time. I know I did. I loved having Jackson as my co-pilot tonight. If you guys could give me some thumbs up or hearts or, you know, whatever works for you, it helps the algorithm to know that people are enjoying this, they're engaging with it, and other people might enjoy it too, so they put it out there for more people to see, and I really appreciate that. It helps me to grow my business. It also helps me if you share this video, so if you could share this on your own page, that would help me a lot. And finally, you can also help me by buying your Stampin' Up! Supplies on my website at heathersides.stampinup.net. So if you don't have a demonstrator that you currently work with, then I would love to earn your business. Thank you, guys. So let's move this out of the way. Let's take a look here at all the cards. Now, if you do place an order, make sure that you use this host code. That also helps me to continue to provide these videos for free and the prizes and such. But if your order's over $150, then please don't use the host code because you'll have some free products coming to you, and I want to make sure that you're the one who receives them. So let's see, we made this one, and then Jackson did such a great job on his turtle card. What do you guys think? We had some fun tonight, didn't we? All right, don't forget about the paper sale, and don't forget about the great deal that Stampin' Up! Is offering right now to join Stampin' Up! If you've got questions about that, definitely send me an email at stamphappenings@gmail.com or a private message here on Facebook. You can always check out more information about it at heathersides.stampinup.net, and you can sign up right there as well. So I hope you guys had a great night. I look forward to seeing you guys next Wednesday night, same time, same place. Bye.